Welcome to the next presentation on eazyBI Community Days. And as already Evita told, I will talk about art in reports and how you can paint in eazyBI with your data. So I have a little problem. Oh no, everything right. So my name is Garda, and as a lot of people, I'm a visual person. I understand information much better when it is represented in pictures, drawings, or other visual tools. And I like to create nice looking charts in eazyBI. And my agenda for today, I will start with a little inspiration from famous artists. Then I will talk about options in eazyBI, and then I will show you some use cases on what you can do with them in eazyBI using Jira or Confluence data. And when talking about inspiration, we can look at some great artists and see how they can influence the report palette. First, I have Yayoi Kusama, a Japanese contemporary artist. This is an installation view of the obliteration room at the Art Gallery of Ontario in 2018. And when I looked at this, I immediately thought of eazyBI scatter chart. And I created my report inspired by the bright colors and bubbles used in Kusama installation. The next is Piet Mondrian. He was a Dutch painter and art theoretian who is regarded as one of the greatest artists of the 20th century. His composition A inspired me for this bar chart color palette. And the next, I wanted to challenge myself a little bit more. So I chose Leonardo da Vinci with Mona Lisa. And I guess no more intro is needed for this art piece. And here it becomes more challenging to figure out how to create a chart inspired by this art piece. But I tried. And I created Easy Lisa. And although it is fun to make reports inspired by artists, we have to remember that reports become art when the end result gives us not only a nice looking picture, but the information about the data, what we can analyze. Both art and reports make additional layers of information, just in different ways. In reporting, the art of using visualization tools is to see meaning in data. As in this report, where without a visual indicator, it is hard to see the min and max values. But apply formatting, and you can see red and green cells for min and max values. Yes, I know, this is not Mona Lisa, but it contains another form of art. You may ask, what are the visual options in eazyBI? Well, there are different charts, like line, spline, timeline, scatter, map, and bar charts, and you can mix them together to achieve another look what you want. Then you can change color, the charts, to better separate measures in your reports. And you can also use measure formatting as sparklines, HTML, or Markdown, as here I have created the icon for project teams. And you can apply conditional cell formatting to measures. As already Raymond told, the cell formatting and measure formatting have been improved greatly in the last year. So my use cases will be more about how to make tables look great. And there is a saying, one picture is worth 1,000 words. Or I would say, one report is worth 1,000 words. So let's see some use cases for different teams. First, I will start with reports based in Jira data. The first is for support manager, who wants to see the most active days per week by the result issues. And we will start by creating a simple report with the time dimension in rows at month level. And I will also filter this time dimension by 2019. I will select measure issues result, and I will add week dimension into columns. The report is almost done, but it is not quite understandable which is the most active days. So I apply cell formatting, heat map, And I need only minimum and maximum colors to create a heat map. As you can see, somebody has worked on Sundays, and for February, the most active day was Monday, and for May, it was Thursday. When I enable total rows, I can see that Mondays and Thursdays have been overall for all year the most active days. So somebody already asked in Slack about heat maps, so here it is. The next, as a team lead, the user wants to see an overview of his team time tracking and see if all have logged the hours per day. The report is already there. Hours spent logged by user for current week. Also, I can switch to the previous week. And I can see there is a lot of hours, but it is clear if somebody logs too much or too little. So I apply formatting. Here, gray is for hours that are not enough till 5. Green is for range that is okay. And orange is for overtime. So let's add orange. For overtime, that would be 9+ hours till 24. And everything that is more than 24 hours, humanly impossible, will be red. Steve, what are you doing? On Monday, he has 40 hours, and the same for this week. So maybe he is just working on one huge task that he doesn't want to split per days. Or maybe I should talk with him about this pattern. The next use case is for a product owner who wants to see an overview of stories created per priority over a time period. And additionally, what is the change? Are stories resolved or created more in time period? We already have a report with a priority dimension, and I will add also the filter by stories from issue type dimension. First, I will add a bar sparkline to quickly see which priority has the most stories in this quarter. So it's low. Next, I add a sparkline overview of the last 6 periods. And when this is added, I can hover over the line and see each dot with the value. It is possible for the sparkline to change the formatting. There are line, area, bar, columns, but I will change area type. Let's apply, and you can see another way of sparkline. The next, I will add issue change measure to this report. It subtracts issues resolved from issues created. And again, I'm adding a sparkline also for the last 6 periods. And in this time, when I hover over the line, I can see negative values, but they don't pop in this type of sparkline, so I change it to column type. And now, with the red color, negative values are seen immediately. We can also apply different colors to the sparkline, and the red negative values will stay. So this is the way how you can change a color for sparkline, but also see the negative values there. And the fourth is for a project manager who wants to create a risk matrix that is colored based on status and priority value combinations. And I have already the report there, and I have my priority and status dimension in the report. I have status by category, and I have created already a test measure that goes through status, names, and when it is done, it returns green. When it is in progress in the certain priorities, it returns red, and else it's yellow, and so on. So let's see an action, but before that, I will copy this formula, as I will need it for later. I copy it, and now I select the measure, and now we can see red, green, yellow values returned. This is a good way on how you can test your formatting. As the result is as expected, I copied this formula in cell formatting custom formula. And here, the idea is that I copy these returned values and I set the color here. So the green doesn't immediately mean that it will be green. I have to add it. The same goes for red, where I add red color. And the same goes for yellow, as I'm adding yellow. And when I apply formatting, we have our table colored based on priority and status category combinations. And we can remove the testing measure. Now, we have seen some use cases on how to use Jira data for the reporting. But did you know that there is a second eazyBI app that is for analyzing Confluence data, like task, page views, attachments, and other? And the same options can be applied here. And again, some use cases for different teams. The first is for a documentation owner who wants to keep a track of popular but potentially outdated documentation pages. I have page dimension in rows to show pages based on some filter parameters above. I have selected anonymous because I want to see what customers are viewing, not my colleagues. And as I have many pages, I want to make shorter lists, so I will select the bottom 40 pages based on their updated date. Then it is nicer, it's shorter, but it's still a little bit hard to understand how old are they. So I'm applying some self-formatting again. And here I'm using range, and I can use relative dates. That pages updated more than 3 years ago will be with the red background. Pages between 3 years and 2 years will be orange. And if the page has been updated in the last 2 years, it will be green. And now, when I apply the formatting, it looks better. Because I don't have to think about how long ago was 2 years. Come on, last year it almost doesn't count. So now let's see some formatting for page views. And I want to see top 7 pages in blue colors. And with this mix, now I can see what are old pages, but what are still popular pages. And I can start reviewing a data import page. Is it still relevant, or some updates are needed? And by the way, this is one of the ways how we in eazyBI also keep track on some old updated pages. And the next is for technical writer who wants to see the attachments in Confluence based on their size, version count, and type. Well, you know how much Confluence can take place with all those attachments. And here, attachment dimension is used in rows with its size, version count, and media type. And again, a long list, but in this use case, I want to show only top 20 attachments by their size. And I will enable option all others to see how much space all other takes. Then I apply formatting, and I want to see all attachments that are greater than 1 megabyte. So here it is. The next, I want to create a heat map based on version count to see which are the most updated attachments. So let's set min and max color. Here it is. And now I want to highlight a particular attachment media type. So I use regular expression for MP4, and it will color yellow. And now I can check if those huge files are still relevant. And I also can quickly find where are the video files in my Confluence. And the last use case is for marketing team manager who wants to track his team tasks in Confluence. He wants to get an overview of task progress. Here we have a task overview, tasks with its status, assignee, when it was created, when is the due date, and when if completed. Well, it is a long list. So let's see how we can make it more readable. First, I will apply formatting for the task status. I will be using here exact values. And first, I want to show completed tasks with green background. So I'm writing completed and selecting color. The next, I want to have all uncompleted tasks as gray text. So I am applying changes, and now I can see what is done. Then I will sort the tasks by their due date. So the oldest due dates are on top of the list. I can format due date yeah, we can see that the latest are on bottom. So again, I am applying cell formatting, and I want to see overdue tasks that are uncompleted. With the custom formula, I'm using case when construction, and if the tasks are uncompleted, I'm writing this expression here. And the second will be date compare, where I'm using issue task due date, and I'm comparing it with today's date. And this expression will return me -1, 0, or 1. And in this expression, I'm interested in the result that is returned and is less than 0. And then if the tasks are uncompleted and they are overdue, I'm returning the expression, the name overdue red. And as previously, I'm using this name in exact values and select red color picker. Yes, I'm selecting the color from the color options. So it is red. So with this, I can see what are uncompleted tasks with the due date that is passed from today. And now let's see the last one for this report. I want to add icon in this report to see completion status in one column. I am using here the measure what I have created before. And the logic here is that it returns one icon for tasks completed, another if the task is uncompleted and the due date is not overdue, and the third icon when the task is uncompleted and it is due. And when I'm selecting this, remember that you have to choose the correct formatting markdown. And when I'm selecting this measure in the report, I can see it is in the last status, so last place. So let's move it in the first. And I can see in one column that indicates the completion status for Confluence tasks. So red clock is uncompleted with the red due date, and completed is just a green checkbox. And on top is uncompleted tasks, actually without the due date. So Markdown maybe looked a little bit scary, but don't worry, because as already Martin explained, we have our community page, and there is one article where I have explained in details how you can use Markdown in your formulas. Just copy a working formula and choose your icons from Font Awesome page. Select what you find the icon, what you want to use, copy it in the formula, and make it yours. And at the end, as Martin already shared, you don't have to create reports from zero. Almost all of my examples you will find in eazyBI demo accounts. In case you want to explore them more after my presentation, copy them into your account and add your inspiration to them. Change your dimensions, colors, and make them as your reports. Thank you.